Everyone, and thank you for coming. Looks like something's going on here tonight, I guess. So, but please join me in the pledge. I'll stand and join me, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Here.
Councilwoman Hush-LaRae.
Here.
Councilman Perticone.
here.
Attorney for the town.
Here.
Just before we get started, just a couple things that I would like to talk about. You know, I've been here about 3+ weeks or so, and what I want to do is I want to thank the town hall, all the employees here, everyone I see all here. I don't want to get into names, but you really helped out a lot. You're a bunch of very extremely hard-working individuals, all of you in every department. And this is a well-run machine we have here, and everyone has a town residents, employees, and everyone here in the best interest of everyone. Being here 3 weeks, I really get to see this is an extremely busy place. And it's busy because things are moving on. Things are going on in town. It's good to see. And really, the people that work here, I can't say enough of the great team that's here at Town Hall, from all the staff, everyone that's here on campus. And I would like to give a little thank you to Laura Smith to my right here. This young lady right here really helped me out the last 3 weeks. Laura's our town attorney, and she also has the best interest of everyone in town. I want to thank her very much. And if Dave's smart, pay attention to her. She'll keep you out of jail, that's for sure. Pay a lot of attention. When she says don't do it, you'll go to jail, believe her. And another thing, I just want to, how we got to this point. Before we go on, I just want to, we had some people apply also for the supervisor position, and I want to, it really is a sign of some strong commitment to the people in town here. I want to thank the people that were here for the interviews on behalf of Lori and Nicole and Jason Vanette as well in the HR department. I want to thank those folks for taking time, coming in, talking to us, and it was a really good, group of people that emerged that came out for the interviews, and I just want to thank them. So thank you also to all you folks as well too. So Barb, you want to read?
Okay. Item for board action. Adopt a resolution filling a town board vacancy. Whereas the office of the supervisor is currently vacant, and whereas pursuant to town law, section 64, paren 5, the town board may appoint a qualified person to fill a vacancy in an elective office, and whereas the person so appointed shall hold office until the commencement of the calendar year next succeeding the first annual election at which the vacancy may be filled, and whereas the town board desires to fill this vacancy by appointing David Seeley as supervisor of the town of Arundecoit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Arundecoit hereby appoints David Seeley as supervisor of the town of Arundecoit for a term to expire December 31st, 2016. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Can I have a motion?
I'm very happy to make that motion, and I'd like to say why, at least some of the reasons why. For 3 years, I've had the pleasure to work with Dave Seeley on the town board, and it has been a pleasure. And I've also seen him in other capacities as well. I've seen him effectively work in positions of leadership, of advocacy, and of support staff. And, he moves seamlessly through those worlds, and I think that's exactly what we need as town supervisor, a person who can be an inspirational leader, like David, and can also be an advocate, and always remember that he's serving the people, and that's him also. He is a very thoughtful decision maker, and I've watched him. And he's compassionate, and he has a lot of patience. Now, I know we're not nominating him to be a saint, but I wanted you to know those things about him.
Coach.
He will successfully bring us through this term, and I believe that he will dynamically lead us into the future as well. So I am very happy to make the motion that the town board appoint David Seeley as supervisor for the town of Arundecoit.
I would like to second the motion, and just to echo what Lori said, Dave, many of us, everyone in this room, and the majority of the Irondequoit community is already well aware of the type of leader that you are, and I think we're all just very excited to be able to see how far you'll take our team to the next level as our new leader. So thank you so much for everything that you've done so far.
And I would just like to, we went through the interview process and everything, but I think, to take the town where it's been, where Adam brought it to this point and where it's going, I think Dave's definitely the right person in line here. He's going to get a really good group. He's going to inherit a really group of employees here, and I know Dave's the right guy to take this and keep going this progress that we have here in town going forward. And if anybody doesn't know, his parents are my neighbors, and it helps to make your neighbors happy as well too. But I want to thank everyone. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried. Okay, so if you join me down, we'll join Dave and Majority Leader Morelli up front for the oath.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, okay, that's more like it. It's an Irondequoit hello. While folks are taking the seat, let me first thank the three town board members. We've gone from 5 down to 4 down to 3, so this is going to be a lonely club. But John, who's just an amazing friend, has been a great leader in this town for a number of years, and the fact that we have such a gorgeous library next door owes in large part to John's perseverance, to Lori Barnum, who's been a tremendous leader in this entire community, not just Irondequoit, for many years. And Nicole, who's you're no longer going to be the freshman member. You're moving up in at least 1 or 2 classes, so and is doing just a terrific job. I also want to acknowledge, I'm not sure this is my responsibility, but I'm going to do it anyway, a number of other folks in the audience who I want to make sure we acknowledge. First of all, our recently appointed clerk of the Monroe County Clerk Adam Bello is here this evening. County Legislature Minority Leader Cindy Cayley is here this evening. I walked in with County Legislator Vince Felder. Vince, are you in the room? There he is. Vince Felder is here, County Legislator Vince Felder. I'll get in trouble at home if I don't acknowledge County Legislator Joseph Morelli Jr. is here tonight. Brighton Town Council member Jim Vogel. Oh, there you are, Jim. Jim Vogel, please, our good friend. And Irondequoit Town Justice Joe Valentino is here tonight. Thank you, Joe. And I do want to acknowledge 2 former members of the Monroe County Legislature. Paul Haney, our great friend, is in the back. Paul, thank you for being here. And Vinny Esposito, who is the head of Empire State Development in our region, a former Monroe County legislator representing Irondequoit. So I just want to say a few quick words, and then I'm going to have the privilege of administering the oath. This is a proud moment for all of us who call Dave Seeley a friend, and there are many of us. And I note particular pride in the front row here, Mike and Karen Seeley. Mike's trying to hold it together, I see. He's going to fight a losing battle tonight, but great friends and so involved in all the work we do, and obviously incredibly proud, as are Dave's sister Lauren and his brother Steve and sister-in-law Lisa are all here, because this is really a family affair. You don't go very far with Dave without seeing another Seeley close behind, and I take that as a good sign. Legendary World War II General Bernard Montgomery was once asked about leadership, and he said, "It's the capacity and the will to rally men and women to a common purpose, and the character which inspires confidence." I just wanted to talk for a moment about character which inspires confidence and say a few words about Dave Seeley's character, who I'll now call Supervisor Seeley. Dave and I have had the chance to work for the better part of a decade now, a little more than a decade, on a whole host of things, and he has worked with me on I tease him an awful lot. That's how I show affection. I tease him mercilessly. But I thought tonight I'd actually just say a few words without teasing him, and talk a little bit about what he does. First and foremost, the thing that I think recommends Dave is his deep commitment to this community. He is a child of West Irondequoit, lives in East Irondequoit, so he's got the whole town covered, but he is just someone who cares so deeply about this town, about Irondequoit. He'll see friends that he went to high school with and kids that he played sports with all around, and it's remarkable to me because the way that he is just engaged in this community and knows so much about the history of our town and this community. He also is someone who believes in the nobility of public service. When you watch TV these days in a presidential campaign and you're not sure that people actually believe in public service, it seems sort of self-serving. That Dave Seeley truly believes in public service, and we get to spend a lot of time at the Capitol. He has chronologued some of that and cataloged it in photographs that he's taken of the Capitol. If you haven't seen them, you should. And it's literally part of his core, his belief in the institution that's the state legislature, where he began his public career, but believes fundamentally in the importance of all of us who have the privilege and honor of serving, of being real public servants. That's part of his character. He's incredibly smart. He is incredibly dedicated. You'll often find him. I will say this, he always beats me to work in the morning. Now, that may not be all that impressive, but he's there before me and he's there when I leave. And I put in pretty long days, but he's always there in the morning. And on Saturdays and weeknights, he's an amazingly dedicated person to the task at hand. He's also very talented. Those of you who have heard him sing, you know this. I said to a group of legislators who were in from New York last week, and we were trying to encourage him to sing at an event we were at, and we finally persuaded him. It didn't take that much work to persuade him, but he wowed them. They were all on their chairs taking pictures of him and calling for an encore. So he's incredibly talented. He's witty. He's smart. But more importantly, if you're a friend, he's incredibly loyal and a dedicated friend. And we've spent a lot of time together over the years, both the highs and lows that you can imagine accompanies a public career. We've also shared more than a few meals together. I think I've had more meals with Dave Seeley than anyone, including my wife, over the last 10 years. Some good, some bad, but always interesting, always fun, and he makes the day a joy. He makes the service a joy. So I know that this incredibly talented, funny, loyal person is going to be a truly remarkable leader, and the way I know that is because he's already a truly remarkable friend. So Godspeed, Mr. Supervisor. Let's take the oath of office.
Formation. Which hand am I putting on the Bible?
You place your left hand and raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I, David A. Seeley, do solemnly swear
I, David A. Seeley, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Town Supervisor according to the best of my ability.
of Town Supervisor according to the best of my ability.
Bless you.
You guys can stay up here if you want. Goodness, it's on a rare occasion you get to stand 8 feet from a former president, the leader of the free world, as I got to earlier today with William Jefferson Clinton, who was here making a campaign stop. And it's rare that you can do that and say it was by far a distant second highlight of your day. This being the it still was a pretty good day, by the way. So that just shows you this is a good day. But thank you very much for all being here. It means so much to see so many familiar faces, people I've known for years, people I've grown to know, friends, family. So thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedules for coming tonight. First, I want to, of course, thank my my three colleagues on the board: Deputy Supervisor Perticone, Councilwoman Lori Barnum, and Councilwoman Nicole Hustler-Ray. I thank them for expressing their faith in me. During our time working together, we've been a team. We've always been committed to the common good for our town. We've been never afraid to be honest with one another. We've been dedicated to ensuring that Town Hall works for taxpayers, not the other way around. They are all exemplary public servants. I want to reinforce that tonight. So let's give them another round of applause. Joe already did so, but I want to just thank Deputy Supervisor John Perticone for serving as the interim supervisor this past month. I saw Michelle as she was walking and his lovely wife, and no one seemed happier to see me take the oath of office than her. But John represents the very, very best of Irondequoit, and as Joe pointed out, you look out that window, our beautiful library, a project that John personally really oversaw and advocated for many years. He's a true public servant. Most importantly, he's a good friend. So, John Perticone. I want to thank the staff here at Town Hall, many of whom are here tonight. We've been in a brief period of transition in town government, and as John said, things really have not skipped a beat. Whether you like it or not, you're going to see a lot more of me, but I look forward to working with all of you. Barb, I promise, I just have to put your optimism at rest. This will not be the length of most board meetings. We will spend longer hours into the night on par. To Majority Leader Morelli, thank you for being here to administer my oath of office. I wouldn't have envisioned it any differently. This moment for me is bittersweet because it marks the end of a period in my life, one where I've been proud to serve as a loyal aide to one of the most influential, hard-working, honest, and decent public officials in our state. When I was a younger man, struggling with whether or not I wanted to stay in a career of public service, Joe Morelli helped me believe again in government's ability to help its citizens. He proved that politics isn't a zero-sum game, and he served as a role model for not only myself, but for many others, many of whom are in this room today. You know who you are. Joe casts a big shadow wherever he goes. I've been proud to walk in that shadow for much of the past several years. New York's lucky to have him as one of its leading elected officials. Irondequoit's proud to call him one of its own. So please join me thanking my friend Joe Morelli. I stand before you today solely because Governor Cuomo saw the merit in appointing our former supervisor to the office of Monroe County Clerk. See, that's that humility, you know. Supervisor Adam Bello, now County Clerk Adam Bello, worked with my colleagues on the council and I to redefine our residents' expectation of Irondequoit Town Hall. The people of this room will always appreciate Adam's form of leadership because he took on challenges once seen as too difficult for a town supervisor to address. Adam accomplished great things as your town supervisor. Most importantly, in my mind, when it came to our most important issue, the former Irondequoit Mall, an issue that was threatening the future of our town, Adam Bello stood up for the people of Irondequoit. And that's something for which we shall always be grateful for him. So please join me in expressing our appreciation to our County Clerk, Adam Bello. For someone who grew up in this town and who has an unapologetic love for Irondequoit, there couldn't stand before you a prouder man. To me, Irondequoit has always been the center of the universe, and it still is today. So I stand before you as someone who's proud to have been born here, proud to have bought my first home here, proud to still call this my home, and now honored to serve as your town supervisor. But I'm not ignorant. I recognize that while I was duly elected to serve this community in 2013 as your councilman, I have not yet been elected by the people to serve as your town supervisor. The product of my work in this building will determine whether or not down the road people are walking up to council members Perticone, Hustler-Ray, and Barnum and either lauding their decision or questioning their sanity. But I look forward to working hard every day to build the trust of the people in this town. I have big shoes to fill, and I'm well aware that my predecessor has set the bar high for what the Office of Supervisor can do for our residents. The people of Arundecoit rightfully expect a good return on their hard-earned tax dollars, and I will work to ensure that they continue to receive one. I am blessed to be joined by my family here. No, I didn't forget them when I was introducing people, including my mother and my father, Mike and Karen. They unfortunately had to cut their vacation in Florida a day short to be here. The sacrifices the Seelys make for one another, but it's good to have them here today. I couldn't be happier that all the Seelys still, in one way or the other, call this town their home. My brother and his wife just recently bought their first home on Daly Boulevard. My sister teaches foreign language in West Arundecoit. Yes, I will get her as a resident eventually. And yes, Karen Seely is still waging war with the deer of Arundecoit on Washington Avenue in defense of her tulips. Michael Seely looks on from inside, knowing better than to try to help. In many ways, the experience of my family represents the critical issues and challenges facing Arundecoit today. Actually, taken out of context, it doesn't sound very good, so let me explain, please. Permit me. I'll bring it back, don't worry. We must keep our town welcoming for families. For any young couple deciding where they want to buy their first home and start a family, I want Arundecoit to be atop their list. Walk down one of our beautiful tree-lined streets and tell me that a mass-produced subdivision in one of the outer suburbs is nicer. We've taken great strides under Adam's leadership to boost our recreation offerings, to invest in our neighborhoods, to improve our parks, to combat zombie homes, and we're going to do even more to preserve and enhance our quality of life. That's how you get young families like my brother and sister-in-law, and eventually my sister, to come to Arundecoit, come back to Arundecoit. And then you have people like my folks, sitting there dreaming of the beach in Florida right now. So they moved here, I think, in their 20s. I won't tell you what year that was, but they were younger. They bought a beautiful colonial in the perfect neighborhood. Started their family here, sat on the PTA, raised money for a new playground at the school, attended 4,000 baseball, basketball, football, and soccer games. This community means something to them, and they want to stay here for the rest of their lives. In fact, our town motto is a town for a lifetime, and I want that motto to drive what we do here at Town Hall. Under Supervisor Bellows' leadership, the town has undertaken a comprehensive senior services study, the goal of which is to determine how we can better make Arundecoit a town where one can spend their entire life, grow up here, buy a home here, raise a family here, and then take care of your grandchildren here. I expect to, in the coming weeks, begin to implement some of the recommended strategies from the survey and its subsequent report. And that plan will continue to guide our actions at Town Hall. Arundecoit has the largest senior population in Monroe County, and I want to keep it that way. Further, I want the people of Arundecoit to know that I stand committed to redeveloping Medley Center. Since the sale of the mall, many people have walked up to me, as I'm sure they did Adam, and asked what will become of it now that it is in the hands of a new owner. Because I don't honestly fully know the answer to that question, I generally respond with an honest response. I don't know yet what the mall will be, but I do know what it won't be. It will no longer be a black eye on a wonderful town. It will no longer cloud all of Arundecoit's greatest attributes and distort how the rest of the area views us. And when someone driving westbound on 104 looks to their right, they will see something of value, something of promise, something worthy of the great people of Arundecoit. I have met with Angelo Ingracia, the new owner. I'm confident that he is someone with deep roots in our community, will turn that property into something of which we all can be proud. I believe him because when I look him in the eye, I see someone who possesses an affection for this town and wants to make it better. And I look forward to standing beside him in the near future as he lays out a vision for the former Medley Center. I believe in Angelo because I see the same dedication and resolve in his eyes than when I first met Mike and Wendy Nolan in 2012. Mike and Wendy are here today. I'm thrilled to have them. Mike's on granddad duty over there. He's doing a good job. I'm proud to have worked with them long before I-Square was brick and mortar. Back then, I-Square was a bold idea of a husband and a wife committed to their town and dedicated to making it better. I was at Mike's side when we sat in Majority Leader Morelli's office to help break the impasse towards moving the project forward. During my time in the Cuomo administration, I was happy to advocate for the project in Albany, working with my good friend Vinny Esposito and Joe Morelli to help secure the largest grant for a project like the I-Square. And now, and mind you, the application did that itself. We were happy to advocate for it. But now I proudly reaffirm my commitment to helping Mike and Wendy Nolan realize the dream of a better Arundequoit. And I pledge to them tonight that as long as you are willing to dream for us, I am willing to fight for you. I-Square has helped bring our town together. In fact, one of the more refreshing things I've seen since taking office in 2014 has been a resurgence of a civic spirit in Arundequoit. Across America, it seems that for the past few decades, we've been losing that sense of community, that feeling that we're all a part of something bigger, that while our individual lives are always of paramount concern, if our community is strong, it all makes us stronger. One of the most personally important books I've ever read was back in college, a book by Robert Putnam entitled Bowling Alone. Putnam, actually a Rochester native, I'll note, reflected that we as a society had departed so far from the civic-minded World War II generation that even attendance in bowling leagues had declined. We had lost our social capital. That was written 15 years ago, but I would love for Putnam to see Arundequoit today. He could come to Town Hall in a few weeks now and see hundreds of residents participate and invigorate Arundequoit, a grassroots volunteer effort to beautify our town. I would invite him to one of our movie nights on the Town Hall lawn where families convene to enjoy a film under the stars with hundreds of their neighbors. And I would have loved to have bought him a burger at I-Square a few weeks ago when hundreds of residents came out in support of a project that has become a symbol of pride for the people of this town. When I-Square became the target of a baseless attack, the people of Arundequoit took it personal, united in support, and said with one voice, as a community, don't mess with Arundequoit. Town government is going to fight to make Arundequoit better, but we are all in this together. And we at Town Hall can accomplish little for Arundequoit without working with the 51,000 people who live here. I will never forget where I came from, where I am today, and where I want to spend the rest of my life. As a boy growing up here, I could have never envisioned this day because, again, Arundequoit to me is the center of the universe. It is also a wonderful town. We're going to keep it that way, and we're going to make it even better. Let's get to work. Thank you. Godspeed. Thank you. So we gavelled in with Deputy Supervisor Perticone. What's going to happen now, I'm going to sign my oath of office. I took it. I have to sign it now. We're just going to reconvene very quickly just to gavel out. So bear with us for 2 seconds. Thank you.
I have to sign it, and then I'll seal it and give you a copy.
All right, great.
Is this yours, David?
Pardon? Well, this concludes our special town board meeting. This job's pretty easy, John. Adam, I could get the hang of this. I will note that our regularly scheduled town board meeting will still take place this coming Thursday, April 21st at 7 p.m. right in the Broderick Room. And until then, I want to thank again everyone for showing up tonight. There's going to be some light refreshments next door. Please enjoy yourself, enjoy the company of one another. And as I said in my Facebook post, watch where you're walking. Arundequoit's on the move.
Oh.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Irondequoit's government access channel.